good morning and welcome to the newspaper review on Morning Dew. I am Mojot Dominic.
And my name is Oladipo. Good morning, viewers at home.
Good morning. Okay, so this is Cactv and we are here to make sure that we give you headlines on the news making waves around the globe. So stay tuned as we go for a quick break and we'll be right back. Yes, welcome back from that quick break. So shortly we'll take the quote for the day and then we'll take a look at the news making headlines. So let's take a look at the quote, and the quote that we have for today is taken from the book of Psalm 147 verse 3, 147 verse 3, and it says, "He heals the brokenhearted, binding up their wounds." He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, meaning that the Lord is the only one who heals the broken heart. Whatever you're going through today, I assure you that the Lord will come through for you. He will heal every of your wounds and He will restore all that you have lost in this season. So I encourage you today that you do not give up on God, because He will not give up on you. Okay, so that's the word for today, and I hope you hold on to that and encourage yourself with it. Okay, so let's take a look at the news that we have, the newspaper review that we have today. So starting with the Punch as usual. So today we'll start with the first story, which says Tinubu's certificate prove alleged forgery beyond reasonable doubt. Supreme Court tells Atiku. Atiku insists on CSU evidence. Ex-VP's disposition invalid, says Tinubu. The chairman of the Supreme Court panel hearing the appeal against the election of President Bola Tinubu, Justice John Okoro, said on Monday that the People's Democratic Party standard bearer in the February presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, must prove the allegation of certificate forgery leveled against the ex-Lagos state governor beyond reasonable doubt. Okoro handed down the admonition during the hearing of the election petition appealed filed by Atiku and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. He also stated this following the submission of Atiku's lead counsel Chris Uche San, urging the court to admit the fresh evidence brought by the petitioners. In his bid to nullify Tinubu's victory and prove the allegation that he was not qualified to contest the presidential poll, Atiku had prayed to an illustrious Chicago district court to order the Chicago State University to release the presidential academic records that they have. So this is still the case ongoing, and it's still a news making almost all the headlines today. And I'm still wondering if I were Tinubu, I would just be like, these people are not making me run the affairs of this nation. So away from that, so let me come to you, Engineer Ola. So with all of this, back and forth, and now we have the Supreme Court saying that he has to prove between in every reasonable doubt about the case still ongoing with Tinubu. So what's your take on this?
When a baby is born, the first thing the baby must learn how to do is to crawl. First, the baby has to learn how to sit, then crawl, before the baby can stand upright and begin to walk. This is a matter that will have been brought to the court at the preliminary stage, at the tribunal, and this issue will have been should have been thrashed out. Why are you bringing this issue now? Okay, you went to America. that you want to prove that Tinubu did not attend the school. When you go to America, you are given, the court now ordered that you should be given all the relevant documents. They were given to you. You are back home now. The court is now telling you that, look, you have to prove to us beyond reasonable doubt that if he really forged the certificate. The issue is technical. And then we know very well that at this last stage, the Supreme Court may not take in fresh evidence. This matter, it's like one thing I used to say, that if there's an issue, let us resolve the issue before we move forward. Because if you don't resolve this issue, after so many years, you come back to the same issue again.
Same thing.
What will be your judgment? So this is what should have been done before now. Okay, and look at the situation of the country now. Mr. President can say, because of the court case that I have, we have not been running the administration of this country very well. Look at our forests, look at our industry, look at our light, NEPA, Palava. There are lots of problems. There's scarcity of money, scarcity of employment, scarcity of fuel, scarcity of gas in this country.
We are not paying attention.
We are not paying attention to this. We are still dragging ourselves. Since what time? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. This is October. I don't know. So, but as the matter is in court, let us wait for the court judgment. Okay, so when the court says, "Oh, this is my judgment," then we can now see what will be our own opinion then. But now we are unable to say anything, because the matter is in court, and we should await the judgment of the court.
Well, for me, it seems like there is more to this than meets the eyes, because I wouldn't see why we've been dragging this issue for going to, over 6 months now, and we're still on it. And it seems to me like, they're just trying to distract the masses' mind away from some certain things. And we really have to wait for the court to make their judgment and make sure that all of this dies down before this year runs out. We wouldn't want to go to the following year with the same issue, more like going back and forth on the same issue.
I agree with you. If you look at the government, Atiku was once the vice president of this country, and he was among the pioneers of privatization in this country. 1002 or 1001 flats at Ikoyi was sold under him. Nitel. In those days when we were very young, if Nigerian Super Eagles or good, Super Eagles are playing football in Europe or anywhere in the world, we rely on Nitel to give us connectivity. But today the reverse is the case. That where is Nitel now?
It's
sold Nitel to Transcorp. And what happened to Nitel? Now, Nitel they have equipment all over the country, but what is happening to the equipment? They were sold out, and what happened to the money? And he was in charge. Okay, the same thing with Obi. During Abacha era, there was ABN. Those who supported Abacha era, when they were chasing around all Nadeko people. Obi was secretary to Shuba Okadigbo, ABN. It's a circle. So instead of us to work on what will bring progress to the economy of this nation, we are fighting over, I don't understand, the matter that we know. God will help us.
To even imagine that these people have at every point led in the government parastatals, and then they are still having to fight over things or drag over things that are not making headways and helping our generation. I think they need to understand that they need to focus on raising a generation that will do better, or do better than where they did not do. So rather than have to go back on things that would not help us. So moving further to the next story that we have, this is FG plans $10 billion to stabilize Naira, eyes NNPCL for Forex. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians and investors that there is an ongoing plan to boost the country's foreign exchange liquidity. This was as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said that the country was expecting about $10 billion dollar inflow in the nearest term, which would help to clear foreign exchange backlog and stabilize the naira. Speaking at the 29th Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja on Monday, Tinubu acknowledged the challenges faced by the business community in the financial market and assured them of the additional foreign exchange liquidity to restore market confidence. Okay, he also emphasized his administration's commitment to strengthening governance by stabilizing a performance and result oriented public and civil service culture and structures. The president outlined the 8 priority items of the administration to include ending poverty, okay, achieving food security, economic growth and job creation, access to capital, inclusivity, okay, also security, fairness and rule of law, and also anti-corruption. Okay, so having that inclusivity is also part of the things that we also I also admire the governor, or the president rather, that he is coming up with things like this to ensure that we have to the naira is being stabilized. Because one thing we are also facing, which is one of the things that is making challenges more difficult for the masses today, is the fact that naira is moving higher every day. As at last week when I checked, it was about 1,019 naira. So I really don't know how much it is today, but if the president is coming out to say that these are one of the 8 things, or this is the 8 things he's looking at, also making sure that his governance stabilize all of this, I think for me is a great start.
Well, if you say it's a great start, I would say the problem we are facing today did not start yesterday. Let me say it started the day before yesterday. What really happened to the economy? If you don't understand history, you cannot understand what is going on at the moment. I've said it here before that in those days when we were about to travel out of the country, dollar was about 60 kobo to $1. Dollar was not even up to 1 naira. Exchange rate in Nigeria. What happened? If you don't understand what led to this, how can we solve the problem? You see, the problem is increasing every day. Okay, you go to abroad to borrow money from IMF. Like you are going to borrow money from a money lender, local money lender. It will give you a neck cutting interest rate, maybe on 1,000 naira, 200 naira. On 10,000 naira, 2,000 naira. On 100,000 naira, 20,000 naira. How will you be able to break even with this money you are collecting? As long as we are now injecting another money, about $10 billion flow, that is to be able to cushion the effect of this, to make foreign exchange available. This money we are bringing into the country has a cost, and we cannot sell the money, because let's say we are buying the money, we cannot sell the money lesser than the cost of purchase. And what happens again? So this government is saying that, okay, my own 8-point agenda that my administration will follow is poverty, ending poverty. It's not about saying I want to end poverty. It's saying, the statement should be, this is how I want to end poverty. Because you alone cannot do it. You have to carry Nigerians along that, okay, my administration wants to end poverty. This is how we are going to do it.
It has to be a collective.
Give me a structure. If you want to build a house for me, if I show you my land, give me a structure on black and white paper. Okay, this is the structure. This is where the toilet will be. This is the issues we need to address first and foremost. Insecurity, you can't go to farm. And then Nigerians cannot survive without agriculture, without farmers. There should be a way to subsidize agricultural equipment, because you don't expect your son who studied agriculture in the university and go back to farm with hoes and cutlasses. He will not go to farm. He will say, Daddy, I prefer to be a teacher. They have to be encouraged. You know, when your children, they will come back from school at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not when it is 1:45 that you start preparing their food. The food should have been ready before 1:30. So as soon as they come by 2 o'clock,
they have something
to eat. There must be preparation. You prepare whatever you want to do. Maybe 2 years to plan, 1 year to plan. Okay, this is what I want to do, but I can't do it alone. Without this ministry, without this department, we'll hold several meetings. We'll arrive at a point, and then we'll start executing the project. That is when you can move this country forward. Again, you are talking about economic growth. How can the economy grow when Nigerian youths are not becoming layabouts? They don't go to school. They belong to different cult groups. So who are you the only one who is going to grow the economy? You must have a policy to grow the economy, and you have to carry Nigerians along. Look at construction in Nigeria. Tomorrow we'll say Tombilan Bridge is shaking. It will fall. When you are constructing Tombilan Bridge, what about your CWS program in education? You have students studying civil engineering, social engineering, metallurgical engineering, various universities across Nigeria. They are not partakers of this project. You are building bridges in Nigeria, and Nigerian students are not involved practically. If they are involved, they understand from the beginning to the end as they are training. They take over. And over time, we will not be importing professionals into the country to build our bridges. So you have to, how do you grow the economy? When you are leaving Nigerian youth, no, you are leaving them behind. You are not working together with them. How do you grow the economy?
Well, I actually think that the president has a good structure. He has a good plan, but he has a good idea of what he wants to do. And I believe that is because he does not have capable hands to help him execute or have him plan out what he already has in his mind. It's just like having a plan. Okay, I need to make a structure of a house. I have an idea of what it is, but I do not know how to put it out, put it out in writing. So that's where I need hands. I need people to come in, help me do this, do that. But I think first he needs to acknowledge the fact that he cannot do it by himself.
That is the first I'm saying is that he cannot do it alone. But there must be instruction on the ground. Let me give you a simple example. When Fashola was the governor of Lagos State, he created so many vocational schools. It was a very brilliant idea for students. Did they attend the schools? They did not. That should be monitoring and follow up and monitoring. That okay, any student who roam about the streets in Lagos State will be arrested. Any student that is found during the school hours wearing school uniform, in secret places will be arrested. That is monitoring. That is following.
That's supervision.
That is supervision. But when we lack this, what happens? If we look at our roads, there's no they don't obey traffic or others, except the sea last man or a policeman. Anybody does what he likes on the road. So that must be followed up and monitoring. This is what they do in the West. If they see 5-7 people gathering together under not lightable environment, they will say, hey, what are you doing in the dark? Disperse. You will disperse. Mm-hmm. But when you don't do anything to them, they will continue. So there is no proper monitoring. If you bring about a very good policy, a very good idea, there must be monitoring. If you don't monitor it, nobody will do anything.
There has to be an action.
If you send your son to University of Lagos to study, and if you don't occasionally go there to see the son, how he's faring with his education, he may not be going to school at all. But when my daddy will come, I want him to see me in class. He will come. So that is an area that is lacking in the country now.
And so I think we need to go back to how it all started, because pointing back to what you said, that we need to have people supervising and making sure that once you implement a plan, you have people following up with it. Because back in the days, I remember that there used to be a particular area where I grew up, where if you move around that area, any elderly man that finds you, or a woman, would question you, what are you doing there? And before so you don't even have to wait. The moment you sight them coming, you disperse. So I think we need to go back to how it all started and make sure that we follow suit, correct what needs to be corrected, because you can't correct any foundation from the top. You have to go back to the scratch, where it all started. So I really hope that our president will really look into this and make sure that we have a balanced foundation. Okay, so moving on to the next story we have here: marketers meet Senate, blames cabals for gas price hike. So this is part of what we're talking about. We're talking about subsidy in petrol. We're also looking at scarcity in petrol, or hike in petrol, and we're also looking at hike in gas. Okay, so the Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers has accused terminal operators insistently increasing the price of gas. Okay, exploiting and limiting its availability to Nigerians. The marketers, led by the association president Oladapo Olatubosun, on Monday told the Senate that the Nigerian National Liquefied Gas has been consistent with its supply, but the cabal has disrupted the availability of gas in Nigeria, or to Nigeria, I beg to say. Olatubosun labeled some of the marketers as the cabals who were buying the product cheaply from the source and selling it at a very high price. Olatubosun explained that the cabals are making it difficult for the average Nigerians to have access to gas. As of today, gas is sold by these terminal owners for 16.8 million naira for 20 metric tons, whereas NNLG sells to them for a little bit less, which is for 9 million naira. That's a lot of change. Okay, so we're talking about how they need to manage this, and then we're having this come up as well. So meaning that it's practically affecting every sector. And where we have people who are buying directly from the source at a cheaper rate, and we have people who are selling back to the retailers, selling it at more expensive rate. Why won't we have cases like this? So it means that we also need to go back to even the people. We ourselves are actually the causes of, sometimes we are actually the one contributing to the things that we are facing right now. So Engineer Ola,
you see, when the government has the natural resources like LPG to sell to people, to cook, to drive their cars, to do lots of things, and the process of marketing of this product is not monitored, what do you expect? I want to tell you a scenario. If you have a transport business, you are doing transport business, and that's what we call forecast management. And in forecast management, you have people, they sit in their office with the internet. They'll be able to monitor availability on the roads. When you have a Wi-Fi internet, mobile internet, installed in all the buses in Lagos State, you'll be able to see the number of people in the bus. You'll be able to know the activity that is going on in the bus. You'll be able to know how much the bus is making in a day. It is now, the technology is now available that we all know. You'll be able to know, okay, my bus is on this particular route. You'll be able to monitor the bus as they are going. That is under fleet operation. The same thing with our train system. When you have internet connectivity on the train, and the trains are moving, you'll be able to see the road track road, like the plane. When you have transponders in plane, you'll be able to monitor where the plane is now, the route of the plane, and many things like that. If you are selling gas, and the price of the gas you are selling is 9 million naira, and somebody is now handing 8 million naira to it before it gets to the consumers, because this minister is new, this man is new. Is not involved in this process from the beginning. What is now seen is very strange. It's very strange to him. Government, if you are monitoring the movement, that is how the gas is moving, to get to the end users, to be able to know where the fault is. Now he's talking about cabal. Who is cabal? Is cabal a name? Everybody will come and say there are cabals in my ministry, there are cabals in the office. Is cabal a name? Who is responsible?
Who are these cabals?
And this is the work of NOA, National Orientation Agency of Nigeria, to broadcast what the government is doing. Now, when you don't know what the government is doing, if you have a very good policy and there is no monitoring, there is no agency to communicate to Nigerians, this is what we are giving the gas to retailers, and this is the price you should buy the gas. I know if I get to the petrol station and I want to buy gas, if 50,000, no, it's not possible. This morning I got from the radio is 10,000 naira. I will report it to the police. They will not do that. But because of our ignorance, because the government is not talking to us what the government is doing. Tell us what you are doing. Tell us the steps you are taking. Tell us what you will do tomorrow.
Let us be in the know.
So let us be in the know. You will all grow together. But when you want to do it alone, you want to eat alone. One day there may be a very big revolution in this country. I've been saying it because you are not telling us what you are doing.
And sometimes when it happens like that, it seems like there's
you start apportioning blame to this guy. If this guy is being monitored, he will not be able to do what is wrong. So I think this talking about marketers being Senate, blame cabals for gas price hike. When you are meeting the Senate, telling them it is cabal that are hiking the price of gas, that is no excuse. Who is really responsible? And this is the amount you are selling the gas, and this is the amount the end users are purchasing it. Okay, where is this discrepancy coming from? It is you who have to monitor how the gas, the sales of the gas to the end users. You have to monitor it and have your own report. You will know who is guilty. Not going to the Senate and start telling them that these are the cabals. Who are the cabals? Are they spirits? Are they ghosts?
Everyone is speaking for themselves. All right, quickly we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at further stories making the headlines. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. This is still the Morning Dew, a newspaper review on Cactv. So we're still looking at further stories making the headlines today, and the next story we'll be looking at is coming from the Vanguard newspaper, and this says subsidy removal, exchange rate unification have achieved desired objectives. Amidst the inflationary impact of the removal of petrol subsidy, President Bola Tinubu has indicated that the measure has achieved desired objective. But leading economists and investment analysts faulted the position of the president, saying the economy is still struggling as measures are yet to yield the desired positive impact on the economy. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 29th edition of the annual Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Tinubu stated that the addition to the removal of the subsidy, the regime directed to the unification of foreign exchange rates to stimulate economic growth. He said, to stimulate economic growth, we announced the end of a crippled fuel subsidy regime and the unification of foreign exchange rate. Okay, so this exchange rate have been tackled head on. President Tinubu also said his government has introduced several other measures to review or to revive the economy, including the 500 million intervention to support small business and the agricultural sector. Also adding by January 2024, the new student loan program and consumer credit schemes will come into effect. New and affordable homes will also be built at the recorded place. Okay, so that's the first story that we have. We're looking at the subsidy removal, and also the president saying that 2024, this is what will come up. The student loan will take effect, and also building. And I'm like, okay, you have your. So, Engineer, looking at the statements that our president have also made here, when I read the other story, I said, okay, it's a good improvement. So for this, is there any possibility that this would, is a dream come true for the 2021 upcoming projects that he has for the nation?
See, many years back, I used to say a word that the problem we have in this country are coming from the ministries. Ministries of Work, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of this. That is where our problem is coming from. Because, for example, if you go to any ministry and say, this is what I've come here to do, a job that will take you 2 minutes to solve at the ministry will take you about 2 weeks to solve. Because there will be nobody to attend to you. The same thing is happening on the policy the government is talking about. We go back to the same route of check and balances. Whatever policy you are writing now, you have to monitor your policy. It's a good thing to come with a very good policy that, okay, let's remove the subsidy. Because over time we realize that the subsidy goes to the pocket of some marauders. We don't know them.
Some cabals.
We don't want to use the word. Okay, let's say some cabals. That somebody will come out and say cabals. If I'm saying cabals, maybe I am among the cabals. Mm-hmm. Because cabal is no name.
Yes, you don't want to mention names.
This subsidy has been going somewhere unknown. Let's remove the subsidy. Everybody is saying it's a scam. We remove the subsidy. And to a very great surprise, to our surprise, the price of the fuel did not go down. Instead, it's rising. And we have removed the subsidy. Something is wrong somewhere. Now, we want to use a uniform exchange rate. That is, professionals have proposed this policy that if you implement this policy, things will change. It's not working. Why is it not working? So that means there is a big lacuna. There is a very big hole that we have to
seal.
Money is going, it's like you have a basket. You are pouring water in the basket. The basket will not
drains off.
Yes. So this is what is happening. Except we now holistically look into this structural chain, one by one step after another one. We will now realize where the fault is. This money is going out, going back again, without getting to the destination. This is what I think is happening. The project is good, but if the project is not well implemented, what do you think will happen?
There's a fault.
Yes, it will fall. So dollar is now rising above 1,000 naira to $1. And is it because we remove the subsidy? So I think something is really wrong, because otherwise by 2024 it may be worse than this if something is not done correctly. Because the way I'm looking at it, we have seen what he has been doing on the economy, but we are yet to see
the result.
a tangible result.
All right, so we'll take the next story, still from Vanguard newspaper, and this says 14 LASMA officials to face panel over extortion. 14 officials of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority (LASMA) will face a disciplinary panel over alleged extortion and high addedness, in line with the extant rules and regulation of the state. We also learned that the officials consisted of 11 seniors and 3 juniors who were allegedly caught at different locations across the state extorting money from motorists. Confirming the development, Director Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of LASMA Adebayo Taufik said that the affected officers' cases had been investigated and would be facing government disciplinary committee known as the Personnel Management Board discipline, which will adjudicate their cases in line with the public service rule. Okay, so I am happy that this is actually coming up, because I don't know how this managed to get to them, because we've been having cases like this. But thank God that this is coming to light, having to even realize that we have 11 senior officers also extorting people, and we have 3 junior officers this time, is really alarming. And I hope that